You're tuned into The Drop with S.A. Doc. Covering topics from entertainment, sports, to trending topics on social media. Book review. I'm reloaded. Bringing a unique perspective to every episode. This podcast isn't all fun and games. S.A. Doc speaking candidly about the challenges faced by Latinos in the United States. To inspire thought and change in our communities. To help strengthen our families and the world.
You are now about to witness.
Helping to elevate our voice. Tune in for an engaging and thought-provoking listening experience. It's on now. The Drop with S.A. Doc. What's good in the motherfucking hood? Today is April 4th, 2024. And today, I wanted to share some thoughtful wisdom for every day. So I've been sharing this on TikTok, and it's like, it's got a thoughtful, passage for like each and every day. So today for April 4th, it says it's about God, or the title is God. And it says, it's good to fear God, but it is better to love God. The best is to grasp that God is inside you. What is God? God is an eternal being and is in everything that I feel a part of. We all come to God sooner or later, whether we want to or not. Therefore, God exists inevitably for every person. When you understand yourself as a separate being, then you understand other people. When you understand that everything is connected, then you understand God. We have the ability to understand both. Through love, that is, by expanding one's limits, a human being can become closer to God. Love is not just a quality of God, but also an ability in humans. We all have thoughts and feelings we want to share with others. You may feel it's impossible and that no one else will understand, but you still have to share. Such things can only be shared with God. And again, that's a passage for April 4th. For God, thoughtful wisdom for every day. And this is a book by Leo Tolstoy. It's 365 Days of Love, Kindness, Healing, Faith, and Peace. And, there's different, different messages in there. It's not, necessarily a religious book, because I know that not everyone out there is, religious. And not everyone understands God in the same way. It's got a lot to do with your upbringing, your teaching growing up, and me, I was raised Catholic, right? So, I grew up in the Christian church. But, I'm a little bit like Obama in the sense that he had an appreciation for different religions and a respect for all these different religions. I would imagine that he has sort of the same understanding of things, that I have. Again, the way that, I see things is that religion is a vessel, right, to connect you to the infinite intelligence, right? which some people call the universe, some people call God, some people call Allah. There's all these different names for this, supreme intelligence, right? Now, when they say that everything is connected, right? I don't know if you've read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, it's got a bunch of, information. It's like over 100-year-old book, right? But something that I found like really, really interesting in that book, had nothing to do with like affirmations and like, wishful thinking, but, it is connected to the law of attraction. Because basically it states that, your brain is a wave making station, right? You can actually, like see, the activity in your brain, right? The electric activity. And your thoughts, are like signals that, you put out into the world. It's kind of like a radio station, right? With an antenna, and it's broadcasting these signals. Well, how do you think these signals travel, right? Because when a car's traveling, it's traveling down a road, right? The road is there for the car to travel on, right? But yeah, that's the way the car travels on the road, right? Your thoughts travel via the ether, right? Which is all the stuff that's in between us that we can't see, right? All of the waves, the radio waves, right? Signals. Sometimes your phone will like start showing ads for things that you're thinking about. There's signals everywhere, right? So Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, talked about the ether and how our thoughts travel through the ether, right? And then, energy and vibrations. Obviously, if you have negative thoughts, then you're going to be putting negative things out into the universe. A lot of us are programmed to think negatively, or, it could be from our upbringing or personality. We just tend to be a little more negative. And, it's an active, thing that we have to do every day to try to think positive thoughts, affirmations, and really just change that pattern that you have, although it feels really familiar, right? And it feels like home. You're like, this is just who I am. But then, you keep getting, all these results and manifestations in your life that you don't really want, right? So we have to actively do something different than what we're used to doing. If not, then you're just doomed to fail, right? And you don't want to fail. Right. So these are things that you can do differently. So, again, so this ether, right, the thing that's in between everything, right, that could also be thought of as, God is everything, right? Both the physical and the non-physical. Hence, the wave frequencies between all things. And prayer is something that can also be used as a vehicle, right, to connect with the infinite intelligence or God, right? That's why, the law of attraction works in very similar ways, right? It kind of taps you in to that wavelength, that frequency, right, for you to manifest things. So, and again, we're speaking about God, not religion. Religion has its different functions, right? It's religions are kind of like a guidebook for how to live your life, and it's also shared wisdom, through thousands of years that we share with our children as to what you should do and what you should not do to have the best results in life. So, I think that's the purpose of religion. And again, you know, some of us had no religion. You just maybe had some good parents that gave you some really good rules, and then you followed them, right? And then your life turns out well. You weren't just going out, you know, bumping your head up against every wall, right? But, you know, it's undeniable that there is an energy, there's an infinite, you know, intelligence out there. So whatever you want to call it, right? You know, again, I'm Christian, so we call this, you know, we call this infinite intelligence, we call it God. That's how I connect to the infinite intelligence. It's through prayer. That's what works for me. Something different may work for you. So again, thanks for tuning in. Again, The Drop with S.A. Doc. Follow me on the socials, SA_Docwell, DOCWEL. Look me up on YouTube as well, The Drop with S.A. Doc. Peace. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Drop with S.A. Doc. Peace.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.